Okay. There we go. So this last one is right here. Right there. Okay, we're coming up to the final 2 of the 4 sets of bus history. This one here is a lot that's now Reno salvage. There's a historic marker here that talks about the Jeffries fight, and then there's another. So the last one is right here. At Sutro and 4th Street. So let's go over there and read what they have. We're on 4th Street, just across the street from that bus stop. And you can see there's a lot of artwork down here. So and we'll continue on down. There we go. So we're filming that one. And up here, I don't want to go too fast, but I got cars behind me, so on the corner of Toano and 4th is this other historic marker. Talks about the fight of the century. And it was held right here, which is now a salvage yard. There's some a bus stop there that we'll go look at. That's the last of the, that's the 4th of the 4 that talks about, it talks about this fight of the century. And then there is another one further down. They're not quite identical. So let's go check this one out. Oh, this one is talking about the fight of the century. We'll look at the pictures in the back, and then we'll go around the front and read it. So that's where we were. That's where the fight of the century was held. And this one's all, this is the 4th of 4 of these. This one's dedicated to the fight of the century. It's just got a lot of pictures. A little description of it. This one's connecting the past. Let's check. Yeah, the descriptor is right over here. Taking care of business, industry and innovation on 4th Street. That talks about that. We'll get the Lincoln line. It's coming right up here on this one. And then after it loads everyone, we'll go there and film it. So last one. Connecting the past to the future, so we'll film this one and then we'll be done. This one here, and there's one more over here. Hello. Hello. Just doing a little history. The dots and that. Okay. So that does it for this one. And a little information on the Jeffries-Johnson July 4th, 1910 fight. This is from the San Francisco Call on July 3rd, 1910. They said, "The desert city rapidly is taking on the appearance of a national convention. The delegates from the world's sporting centers are arriving on every train. The streets and hotels are filled with a shifting mob of gentlemen, thieves, gamblers, and pugilists. The hum of conversation on the street is punctuated with the click of the roulette wheels and the cries of the souvenir hawkers, and all are waiting for the event which nothing but earthquake or fire or death can now prevent." Moving on now to 4th and Sutro, where the fight of the century took place. This little information, it says, "Taking care of business, industry and innovation on East 4th Street." East 4th Street in Reno became a center of industry around 1900. Early businesses included Reno Mill and Lumber, Nevada Meat Company, the Flanigan Warehouse, and the Reno Brewing Company. Close by, 3 different railroad lines provided transportation of passengers and freight. As Reno grew, the busy street filled with smaller firms in low brick buildings. Family-owned markets and restaurants stood alongside manufacturers of all types. Many stores specialized in sales of machinery, equipment, and auto supplies. Hotels and motels brought in additional traffic and customers. The street remained the east-west highway through town until 1974, when Interstate 80 was completed through Reno and Sparks. After that, East 4th Street lost most of its tourist trade, but remained a central location where many local businesses thrived. Since 2000, a flurry of activity has brought new trades and patrons to the area, which remains a hub of enterprise and innovation. And then more about, it was called the Freight Center, where the fight of the century took place. Nevada Historic Marker number 220, the State Historic Preservation Office, the Washoe County Historical Society. It says, on this site, on July 4th, 1910, Reno hosted the Fight of the Century, a heavyweight championship boxing match between John Arthur Jack Johnson, the African-American title holder, and James J. Jim Jeffries, a former champion seeking to regain the title he had vacated in 1904. Jeffries had refereed a previous championship bout between Marvin Hart and Jack Root at this site on July 3rd, 1905, but the promotion of the ex-champion as the Great White Hope focused worldwide attention on his 1910 contest with the talented Johnson, known as the Galveston Giant. Gamblers had their money on Jeffries, but Johnson easily handled his opponent, and Jeffries' trainers called the fight in the 15th round to save their man from the disgrace of a knockout. Organized by famed promoter Tex Rickard, the fight brought over 30,000 fans to Reno, some 22,000 of whom packed the arena here on the day of the fight. And it's over here off of Toano and 4th Street, where currently the Reno Salvage Yard is at. And this historic marker is right here. Another information sign called, it's here, says taking care of business, industry and innovation on East 4th Street. East 4th Street in Reno became a center of industry around 1900. Early businesses included Reno Mill and Lumber, Nevada Meat Company, and the Flanigan Warehouse, and the Reno Brewing Company. Close by, 3 different railroad lines provided transportation of passengers and freight. As Reno grew, the busy street filled with smaller firms in low brick buildings. Family-owned markets and restaurants stood alongside manufacturers of all types. Many stores specialized in sales of machinery, equipment, and auto supplies. Hotels and motels brought in additional traffic and customers. The street remained the east-west highway through town until 1974, when Interstate 80 was completed through Reno and Sparks. After that, East 4th Street lost most of its tourist trade, but remained a central location where many local businesses thrived. Since 2000, a flurry of activity has brought new trades and patrons to the area, which remains a hub of enterprise and innovation. And then talking about the Flanigan warehouse, which is still standing to this day, but it's now called Forever Yours, an antique mall. However, it says, this is from the Reno Evening Gazette, May 9th, 1903. The magnitude of the business transacted at the Flanigan warehouse can only be appreciated by a visit to that institution on the eastern outskirts of Reno. The warehouse is an immense brick building, especially constructed for the storing of produce and especially wool. There are 12 employees at the plant at present, and from dawn until evening, the place is the scene of the greatest activity.